Howdy race fans, welcome to my little show about racing I like to call In the Pits. With me, StockCar Scott, here each Wednesday on the YouTube during racing season when I feel like it. Okay, racing started again on Thursday night this week with Formula One practice in China, but unlike sessions of the season so far, Ferrari occupied the front row instead of Mercedes. Friday was NASCAR practice and qualifying at Bristol early for the 2 days of spring daytime racing there at Bristol. And Formula One later had qualifying in China. In Sprint Cup qualifying, Cousin Carl Edwards took the pole for a second straight week, and Dale Jr. didn't get out of second round qualifying again this week. In Formula One qualifying, later that evening, Lewis Hamilton's mechanical problems relegated him to the pits during the first round and a last grid spot starting position, as it was negating the 5-spot grid penalty he was to have received for changing a gearbox. His teammate, pulled out a great lap in the final round of qualifying, and along with Mr. Smiley, Daniel Ricciardo, put the two Ferraris back to their regular starting places of third and fourth in the second row for the Grand Prix of China. Saturday, I only got up early enough to hear that Phenom Eric Jones had earned the pole position for the Xfinity race at Bristol that morning. Later, he won from the pole in his Dash for Cash heat race, as did Austin Dillon in the Richard Childress Racing number 2 Camaro in the other heat race, even though Austin would not be eligible for the Dash for Cash. Next up was the feature, a 200-lap Bristol shootout. Now, most of the race was the Kyle and Kyle show, with lots of hard racing between Larson and the Toad. But on the last restart, the Toad Yoda sputtered, allowing his JGR teammate, Phenom Eric Jones, to pass both of the Sprint Cup Kyles and win the race. And along with that, the first guaranteed spot in the Xfinity Chase format with that win, and $100,000 from Xfinity Dash for Cash. Not a bad day's work for the Phenom. The third JGR driver, Daniel Suarez, still leads the Xfinity driver points, but with his win, Phenom Eric Jones moves up 3 spots to second, with the next race, the next Xfinity race, being at Richmond this Saturday. After the Xfinity race, in which, I really like the local style of 50-lap heat races there before the main. That was a cool idea. But after the race, I went down to a favorite local track, South Sound Speedway, for twin 50-lap super late model features, along with Lexar Legends, Hinkle-Home Hobby Stocks, and Bumblebees, as well as a heaping helping of chili cheese fries there. Yeah, I really love those. So I got down early and saw qualifying and enjoyed the camaraderie of my fellow race fans and chili cheese fries. The first of the 2 super late model races was like other races that I've seen over the past 2 weekends, unfortunately, with drivers relearning how to race during the race. This led to some really nasty crashes that just tore up good equipment. There were only 11 super late models to start the evening, and the wrecks only hurt the number of competitive cars on the track. After a couple of brutal-looking crashes and track cleanup, Number 17, Bob Presley, continued his winning ways from last season, ending the first race of this season in victory lane with a clean Monte Carlo. The next finisher was Ron Schultz in the number 55, and I thought that he was retired. Then came Riley Watson. He was third in his number 11. After that came heats for the other three divisions. Mercifully, all of the hobby stocks ran in a caution-free heat. That helped to move the program along. Next up, the Lexar Home Legends had three eventful heats with my favorite, Kevin the Warrior Conway, winning in the B heat. Aye! Bumblebees also ran in there somewhere, but I can't keep up with every division. I know you'd like me to, but I have to have a little time to visit and get concessions and things like that. So anyway, I do that during Bumblebees. As the night wound down, the feature races heated up, but my old bones got chilly. And I don't mean chili cheese fries. The Hinkle Hobby Stock main was 30 laps, and it was won by the number 15, Marshall Hallett, to extend his early season point lead. Next to last for the evening was the 40-lap feature for the Lexar Homes Legends. Those little cars put on a big show, folks, but there were a few cautions that, of course, slowed them down. My favorite rookie, Kevin the Warrior Conway, led some 10 or so laps early in the race, but he got overhauled by the veterans who run a little bit, they got a little bit more displacement and a little bit more tricks up their sleeve. Anyway, so Randy Schaff went on to win in his black number 23. Last week's winner at Yakima, number 16, Dwayne Swanson, was second, and Devin West in the number 5W was third. My favorite, Kevin Conway, was fifth, even though Virginia and I both thought he didn't get placed correctly there on the last lineup for the last restart. Well, that's racing. Okay. Last on Saturday night's racing card was the second of the twin 50-lap late model features. Alan Kress, whose car had been badly mangled in the first 50-lap main, brought out a second car, changed the springs on it, then went out and won the second 50-lap feature. Bob Presley, winner of the first main in his number 17 Monte Carlo, was second, and the number 11 of Riley Watson was again third, despite extensive cosmetic damage from all the night's run-ins. And speaking of extensive damage, number 2, Tommy Elston, in a South Sound favorite of mine, finished the contest in fourth with no front fenders, no front bumper or hood. But still, it was a fun night of racing under clear, although it be kind of cold skies. But the best part was being among my racing friends like Mike and Mary and Molly and Tyler and Parker and Bradley and Dale and Kenny and Virginia and Kevin and so many others. I got, it was nice to visit everybody. It's like, it's really great. So after I left there, got home from South Sound just in time to see Nico Rosberg celebrating his 6th consecutive Grand Prix victory. I found as I watched yesterday, while working on writing the script there, events at the start of the Grand Prix and the ensuing damage inflicted on the Ferraris seemed to gift that race to what's his name. Four-time champion Sebastian Vettel brought his Ferrari back from the first turn melee to finish second, still over 37 seconds back from the winner. And young Daniel Kvyat, nearly 46 seconds behind Rosberg, back in third in the Red Bull. My favorite, Lewis Hamilton, battled up to seventh at China to score 6 points and still rides second in points behind, what's his name? I do believe Mr. Smiley finished fourth, and he's finished fourth in every Grand Prix, so Daniel Ricciardo is now third in points. The next Grand Prix is on May Day in Russia at Sochi. Okay, Sunday morning, Sunday, was getting up early after a late night, but hey, it's Bristol, baby. Though, looking at all those empty seats, I guess many of the race fans there must have thought that it was still a night race or something and forgot to, get up or whatever. I have never seen a Bristol race anywhere close to that empty. Man, what's going on? And just because nobody showed up does not mean they did not put on a whale of a good show. Dale Jr. almost broke my heart by having electronical problems at the start of the race, spotting the whole field 2 laps, though he was able to come back for a second place finish. Cousin Carl Edwards had the field covered most of the race, though his JGR teammates had tire trouble the whole race. The Toad blew 2 right front tires, hit the wall twice, and hit a fan once in pit road. Denny Hamlin and Matt Kenseth also had tire problems, but their teammate, the number 19 Toyota of Carl Edwards, didn't have any, and he was first across the finish line for the 500th time there on Sunday at Bristol. Oh, I was asked to mention that Chase Elliott in the Hendricks number 24 Napa Chevrolet was the highest finishing rookie of the race in 4th place. Way to rack up another top 5. And top 10s, they all count. My other brother's favorite, Happy Harvick, finished well, also in the top 10 in 7th in a Stewart-Haas Racing number 4 Ditech Chevrolet. Okay, my wife's Biffle was 12th in the Roush number 16 Ford Fusion. The next race is at the Action Track of Richmond, Virginia, and I hope that race fans set their alarm clocks this time and show up this weekend in the grandstands. I still don't understand there being so many empty seats last weekend at Bristol. Okay, let me give me another drink. Get myself all worked up over empty seats. But if I'd been living in Alabama, I'd been going to Bristol. Anyway, the Indy Racing League, they ran a race on the streets of Long Beach last Sunday. But I didn't really watch it. It was on. But I did see later that Simon Pagenaud won in a race that ran without a caution. And I haven't had a chance to see a replay as of yet, but if I don't, no real biggie. Okay, time for a little house cleaning from Yakima last weekend, weekend before last. First, I saw the person there who is my number 1 fan at the Apple Cup, and I'm remiss that I did not mention him last show, so big shout out goes to Thomas Ben Scooter. Thank you very much for your support over all 60-something episodes of In the Pits. Oh, another shout out goes to West Coast Late Models, showing off my new shirt and hat this time around. But the shout out goes to a West Coast Late Model driver that I hope to have a chance to meet this season. I was asking Mike about the number 43 that I saw Saturday in a heat race, and saw it again when I was doing the video for YouTube. But I didn't see the car Sunday, and I asked him about it. So he proceeded to tell me about Lyndon Fritz of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and how he came down the more than 600 miles at well over 11 hours driving time one way to break in a heat race and not even make it to the big wreck at the beginning of the big race. So, shout out to number 43, Lyndon Fritz, let me get his name right, Lyndon Fritz of Calgary, Canada, longest tow of the West Coast Late Model Series Apple Cup 100 at Yakima. Thanks for coming. I really hope we get a chance to meet you. So, looking forward to this weekend. There are limited late models for twin 30-lap mains this time, as well as mini stocks, Baby Grands, and Stinger 8s at South Sound Speedway. While Evergreen Speedway is back to real racing with twin super late model mains, street stocks, mini stocks, and their Hornet division. With the super late model there at Evergreen, that is probably where I will be this Saturday night watching stock car racing, because I am StockCar Scott, and this is In the Pits. And I will be here again talking up racing, as I always do, next week here on the YouTube. Same stock car time, same stock car channel, if I feel like it. Thank y'all for watching, and see y'all at the track where I'll be watching racing. Oh yeah, need to remind you, there's a K&N East race from Bristol from the last weekend on NBCSN tomorrow night. I think it's like 10 in the evening or so. So watch it, because I won't be posting the Waterboy Sports Show from a dozen years ago, because a dozen years ago I was in Alabama that week visiting family and going to the race at Talladega. Jeff Gordon won that spring race over Dale Jr. in the number 8 under caution, and fans made it rain seat cushions and beer cans on the backstretch in disapproval. What can I say? But that's my home track, Talladega. Well, thanks for watching again, folks, race fans, and hope you tune in again next week. Thank you very much. I'm StockCar Scott, and this is In the Pits.